Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and remain standing for the advancement of the colors, the singing of the national anthem, and the invocation by Chaplain Coffey. Honor guard, advance the colors.
Academy, half right, face.
Probationary Trooper Mackenzie Alexander will now sing our national anthem.
Officers, present, oath!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glared, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ready, face. Breathe, say it. Arms. Hold there. Arms. Ready, face.
Officers, order! Hold! Academy, half left, face!
Father Daniel Coffey, our state police chaplain, will now give the invocation. Father Coffey.
Thank you, sir. I invite you to pray. Almighty God, our Creator and Redeemer, on this beautiful December evening as we gather for this particularly special event, we pause to recognize your blessings of good government, peace, and security within our society and state. We honor those from within our families, friends, and next-door neighbors, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, moms and dads, who in their law enforcement profession stand on the front lines of peril and distress to ensure our rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all people within our society. We especially note these outstanding men and women who now present themselves to receive official appointment as Indiana State Police Troopers this evening. We publicly thank them for their willingness to enter our emergencies in order to resolve the crises and render support, service, and criminal apprehension when indicated. We therefore beseech thy blessings upon this ceremony and upon these careers. Grant favor and success to the noble intentions of their hearts, the laudable efforts of their hands, and the honorable work of their hands and minds. Holy God, holy mighty, holy immortal, have mercy upon us and hear our prayer. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Governor Holcomb, Superintendent Carter, Justice Goff, Executive Director Horty, Indiana State Police Board members, members of the primary staff, State Police Department members both active and retired, survivor families, family, and friends. I am Sergeant Harless, the Protocol Officer for the Indiana State Police, and on behalf of Superintendent Carter, the primary staff, the Training Division, the Recruit Academy staff, and the rest of the Indiana State Police family, we want to welcome you to the 81st Indiana State Police Recruit Academy graduation. I would now like to invite Lieutenant Tom Hannon, the Recruit Academy Commander, to describe for us what this recruit class has accomplished to graduate and become Indiana State Police probationary troopers. He will then present the 81st recruit class to the Superintendent. Lieutenant Hannon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here tonight to recognize and honor 29 enthusiastic individuals, 26 men and 3 women, who are about to embark on careers as Indiana State Troopers. This fine group of recruits started their training on June 13, 2021, Blue Sunday as we call it. And they are the final product of 25 weeks of intense training and education. This process requires hard work, dedication, and commitment second to none. Their training and education covers a broad range of knowledge, skills, and abilities. Each component of their training was essential in preparing them for the responsibilities that they are about to assume. Their capabilities have been developed and fine-tuned to enable them to make critical decisions in a variety of diverse circumstances in a constantly changing environment. The motto of the Indiana State Police Recruit Academy is discipline through excellence. The Recruit Academy staff and numerous instructors have given a vast amount of time, effort, and talent to transform these 29 individuals into the graduating members of the 81st Recruit Academy. They have instilled in them a passion to serve the citizens of Indiana and those who pass through this state. The Indiana State Police says 100% effort, 100% of the time. The journey these recruits undertook while in the academy was not that different from many of the Indiana State Police academies that have been here prior. The class faced several of the same challenges that are embedded in our traditions, in our culture, and our core values. Like every academy class, they received an enormous amount of training. The class received 1,155 hours total of curriculum in education, psychomotor skills, and hands-on training. Also encompassed in this was a new program that we did, which was called BCOP, which was 197 hours of scenario-based training. In order to graduate, each of the recruits had to successfully complete 5 physical assessments that is set forth by the Indiana Law Enforcement Training Board and the Indiana State Police Department. Their diligence, perseverance, and most importantly, teamwork allowed them to meet, in many cases surpass, the academic and physical standards of excellence expected of them. Family and friends, you should be very proud of their accomplishments. With that being said, Superintendent Carter, the 81st Indiana State Police Recruit Academy presents to you 29 probationary troopers ready for appointment.
Academy, take seats.
It is now my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the dignitaries present at this evening's graduation ceremony and ask that they stand to be recognized. Governor Eric Holcomb, the 51st Governor of the state of Indiana. Superintendent Douglas Carter, the 20th Superintendent of the Indiana State Police. Justice Christopher Goff, the 110th Justice of the Indiana Supreme Court. Executive Director Tim Horty, the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy Director. Colonel Mark French, Chief of Staff of the Indiana State Police. Major Dana Harshman, Commander, Indiana State Police Training Division. Lieutenant Tom Hannon, Commander, Indiana State Police Recruit Academy. Lieutenant Colonel Matthew Bilkey, Assistant Chief of Staff Operations. Major Charles Sorrells, Assistant Chief of Staff Human Resources and Administration. Major Jerry Williams, Assistant Chief of Staff Logistics, and Father Daniel Coffey, Chaplain, Indiana State Police. Now please have applause. And now, please join me in welcoming the 20th Superintendent of the Indiana State Police, Superintendent Douglas G. Carter.
I told you all this is a beautiful place a long time ago. I hope you agree. Welcome to the graduation of the 81st Indiana State Police Recruit School. This beautiful place offers proper recognition to each recruit, and as importantly, each of you. It does not seem like that long ago that I spoke to you at Family Day, though for some of you it may have seemed like an eternity ago. We are so very fortunate to have Governor Holcomb, Cabinet members, Justice Christopher Goff, here with us tonight. Also, a sincere thanks to the members of the State Police Board that are with us tonight. I am so very grateful. for your steadfast leadership and commitment to the ISP. Special guests, members of the ISP, other law enforcement personnel, our Michigan State Police friends that came down from Michigan to join us from Michigan State Police, and of course, special recognition to my wife, Carol, and daughter, Leanne, for your grateful, steadfast support. I love you both very, very much. Where to begin? How about I start with one of the first times I had the opportunity to address your loved ones. Since recruit school is a rite of passage to become an Indiana trooper, I was well aware of what was about to happen. Your recruit was going to transform from wanting a job to this becoming a career, and finally to the ISP becoming a part of who they are. In the beginning, they were lost, wondering what they had possibly done to their individual lives. Did not know the name of the person sitting next to them, in front of them, or behind them, and the unknowns were flying around uncontrollably in their minds. In other words, they had no idea what was about to happen. What did happen is that they found their spot. They realized they were a part of something much bigger than themselves. And not only do they know each other, but they are inextricably connected forever. To the staff, I am so very proud of you, and each of you are also forever etched in the minds of the other. I witnessed you transition from disciplinarian, drill instructor, commander, organizer, counselors, into teachers, mentors, confidants, and role models. Certainly a job very well done. I am so very proud of your commitment, your dedication, and that you gave so much of yourself for others. And isn't that what the ISP is all about? There is no greater commitment to this earthly existence than the commitment to others, and you have exhibited that commitment at a very, very high level. You each owe a debt of gratitude that likely can never be repaid. The memories of this place and these recruits are yours forever and will never be forgotten. We all remember our counselors and the influence that they had on our careers and on our lives. Time goes so fast, and those memories follow us throughout our entire career. There is no doubt that you have had the same profound effect on each member of the 81st class. Well done. I think that most of you would agree that America is in crisis, and that the many challenges we face are unlike anything we have faced in recent memory, and likely even for decades. The erosion of public trust, mass killings, acts of terrorism on American soil, distrust of police officers, violent crime that rocks our conscience, and a drug epidemic that has affected every single community in this country, that has ripped apart the fabric of families. It nearly destroyed the thought that we can live in peace without fear of victimization or addiction. We cannot accept the status quo. These markers and trends are unacceptable, and we cannot sit idly by and pass them on to the next generation, frankly, like my generation has done to them. Now is our time. We must not accept status quo. How about we not blame others and take some responsibility? How about we exhibit empathy and compassion for others, even when we disagree? How about we recognize that all cultures are not the same, so we should stop expecting them to be? Let's not hate when others do. Let's have hard conversations with people that don't look like me. You see, the degradation of public trust is very real, and our profession is not without sin. While we cannot change the historical context of this degradation, we can commit to not reopening and repeating the sins of our past, and we must do all we can every single day, every time, to rebuild public trust. Some would say that now is likely the most challenging time to enter this profession, or may even ask you, why would you choose this profession since there is so much negativity surrounding American law enforcement? I would suggest that there has never been a more important time for your willingness, your commitment, or your desire, because of the extraordinary and historic opportunities that each one of you have. Now bear with me for a moment. I use this example often and refer to it regularly. On November the 30th, 2018, and by the way, this has nothing to do with politics. On November 30th, 2018, a great American patriot, public servant, and the 41st President of our United States died. In the days that followed, we witnessed unity and calm, peaceful debate, political balance, and collaborative approach to historic challenges. There seemed to be hope on the national stage as R's stood with D's, D's stood with R's, and all others stood with both. Hurtful words and painful rhetoric seemed to be non-existent, and peace came over us for a short period of time because of one man, President George H.W. Bush. I would encourage you all to watch the eulogy that George W. Bush gave for his father at the National Cathedral. President Bush describes in beautiful detail his dad's life of service. I assure you it would be worth your time. I say all of this because each of you have the exact same opportunity to influence others. The theme of the president's life and that of his sons was service. So whether you stay a trooper in Indiana, which is a great option, or become something else, a local, state, national leader, whatever you choose, please know that now is your time, and you must imagine the possibilities. You have the opportunity to change the cycle of addiction for a person. Hate, violence, disrespect, and many other descriptors that define human existence today. I refuse to say that it's all okay today, because it's not. Each of you must commit to developing trust in your communities, trust with your citizens through your actions, and understand that you will have to give way more than you will ever receive. We all can live in peace on this planet, but you must do your part. You have chosen the right path if you really truly commit your life to service. I expect that you will work every day, whether on duty or off, to develop the trust of your citizens, other public safety agencies, and anyone that you might come in contact with. Remember that how you treat others is a reflection of not just you, but of us. We must foster relationships that are exemplified by your commitment to others, not yourself. Negative perceptions are largely based on a very few incidents that occur around our state, around our country, and around the globe. Situations or individual decisions. The overwhelming majority of interactions we have are an opportunity to influence positive perception, because perception is reality. I hope you never forget that. You're embarking on the second chapter of your journey. Your days, nights, weekends, and holidays are forever changed. Keep learning. You're going to experience death, dying, destruction, hurt, pain, and sorrow. Never lose sight of the empathy, compassion, and that human understanding that has been ingrained in you while at recruit school. Remember what Colonel French said to you on day one. Be that quiet professional, and each of you now understands what that means. Do not turn away or turn off your family, because they do not and cannot understand what you have or what you will experience. To the families, thank you for sharing your loved one with us. Know that you have the entire resources of the ISP to support your trooper and your family. I so hope that you will never hesitate to ask, because I suspect that somewhere and somehow we can help or assist you along the way. This is one of my favorite nights of the year, because you're looking at the luckiest man on the planet Earth. I get to represent our profession at a level that I never dreamed of as a little boy growing up in a state police family. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would be the superintendent of the ISP. But I love this place. I love this agency. I love these people, and I love our service. I gladly shoulder tremendous responsibility for each of these new troopers, and will always strive to protect, train, equip, and care for them. You see, they and you are both now a part of me, but more importantly, way more importantly, about a part of us. To my staff and so many members of the ISP, both sworn and civilian, that make all of this happen, my sincere thanks. Sergeant Harless works tirelessly to see to it that this whole event is special for you and special for your families because this is your moment in time. In closing, I want to assure all of you that we are going to be okay. We are going to be okay. I'm not sure why human existence is struggling the way that it is, but I do know that better days are ahead. And there will be a lesson learned that we will see very vividly on the other side of these many challenges. I hope to learn that lesson sooner than later. Now is the time to appreciate and always remember our many, many blessings. And finally, my prayer for all of you is that the good Lord always, always ride with you, that he protect you, that he cares for you, and that one day says to you, thank you, you good and faithful servant. Now I have the distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker, my boss and the 51st governor of the state of Indiana. I'm eternally grateful for our governor's support, for his commitment, and for his dedication to not only our profession, but for his immense desire to serve. I'm often asked, what's the governor really like? Behind the scenes. And every time I say he's just like a normal guy. That he cares very much for others and sure understands the power of selfless service. So I introduce to you not just my boss, but my friend, Eric Holcomb.
Thank you, Superintendent Carter, for those thought-provoking sentiments that didn't just connect with the troops. I think it connected with the family, certainly connected with me. We do find ourselves in this season where we're decorating a lot, at least around our house we are. I pledge to pitch in more than I am right now on those decorations, but I can tell you from our view up here, this place has never looked more beautiful. So welcome to the cadets and to the families. You all are following in the footsteps of the best among us. There's just no question about it. I have the privilege and the highest honor to be able to serve among you, as the superintendent just said, and to be up close and more than professional, personal with this thin blue line. And because of that proximity, I have the extra benefit of knowing, at least I'm convinced, that you 29 have arrived here in this building, the people's building, the very people that you will serve. You have arrived here inspired by maybe different things. Maybe it was family tradition. It was alluded to already. Maybe it was a father who served before the son. Maybe it was a circumstance in your life that brought you to this very moment. Maybe it was a time of celebration. Maybe it was a time of tragedy, that something went off, a calling. You answered that call. I'm just convinced and so proud that you did, because I know who you join. I know what you're about. And as it's said, has been said before today and many days before, we need you. We need you now, maybe more than ever. The fact is that, as the superintendent said, society is being stretched and strained, and you all are what keeps that societal fabric stitched together. During all those times when it frays, during the good times, during the tough times, during the sad times, when all those negatives mount, when things may be called into question or even seem inevitable. When, as one person described to me not long ago, it just seems like society's going to hell in a handbasket. And there you are, proving that's not the case. Proving it, proving that there is power, what's behind that badge. Proving there is power, what's inside your head and inside your heart. Proving that there is positive power in what may seem like a small thing to many. Maybe it's a hug. Maybe it's a high five to someone who just had their 10-speed stolen. I don't know. But there you are, on the scene, and that interaction, that influence stays, has with me every day, and I guarantee you, those positive interactions move the needle in the right way. I think about the time that we find ourselves in, this unusual time when you answered this call. It's not to say that the folks that went before you had it easy. They did. There were challenges then too. But this has been, for us at least, everyone that is in this building right now, an unprecedented time. You can go back to the folks that still comment on 1918 and all the loss that occurred coming off of a world war, the tens of millions of lost lives around the world, the hundreds of thousands of lives lost just from the war effort, saying bye to someone in uniform as they left the house to serve, on top of the pandemic of 1918, where we just in this country lost another plus 600,000, where we were visiting the cemeteries. And today, again, we find ourselves, as the superintendent said, it's almost as if we're seeing a scene straight out of the Bible. This lesson that we will learn now or surely later. It's been you all who weren't just called, but who stepped forward, who stepped toward to help during responding these riots and protests that turned violent at times, during these shootings on our streets or on our interstates, responding to the drug trafficking that has become so sophisticated, the gangs and cartels that operate like a logistics company right here at the crossroads of America, where you will be crisscrossing this great state. Responding to all the extra stresses and strain that have come from COVID-19 and the impact it's had on all of our mental health. All those pressures that play into your response play into what's inside that car or on the other side of that door. And I'm fully aware that those extra stresses and strains, trauma, washes up on your shore. Like maybe never before. And it affects your psyche. It affects your family. It affects your well-being. So please, for not 1 minute, please don't think that me or this administration or the department or even 6.8 million Hoosiers take you for granted. I know otherwise. We respect you and what you do every shift, every day. While there are some who may disrespect, we, the vast, overwhelming majority, it's just quite the contrary. It is the opposite. We respect, in fact, we revere what you're doing. The commitment that you've made, the willingness to sacrifice that you don't even have yet. We are profusely grateful that you are willing and wanting to do that which we fall short of, that we leave to you to do. If you read press accounts or watch the news, you can fall prey to so many negative stories going on in society, and we need our outlets to report on those cases for good reason. We need to be informed. But every time I inform myself and see one of those negative stories or something that gives me great concern, I also think about the 10 things that you did that very same day that had a huge positive impact that never gets covered or reported on. It far outnumbers every single day what you manage, the good outcomes because of your involvement, because of you. And it would be impossible. There is not enough airtime, there is not enough space to print all that or air all that. All that you do, every single shift. And I'll commit to you, as I have to our superintendent. He knows this. I will stand behind you. I will stand beside you. I will stand in front of you. Whatever the time and the circumstance calls for, we will go through this together. You will not be alone. You will know that there is support for you. And we will learn along the way as well. And we will adapt. And we will learn from you. You 29 have a huge opportunity before you for your citizens and for your leadership, because you will be filling their shoes before we know it. Time flies. And I want you to know that we're going to be doing everything that we can to make sure that you realize there are a lot more that are going to be inspired by you and are going to want to join you. And you will then be the elder. And I would just ask you in closing to always listen and learn from your elders. I'm sure you've already picked that up. I'm sure that's already been shared with you. You will be asking them questions from here on out because they learned it, some of it the hard way, so that you wouldn't have to. And as I was just told today, they'd do it all over again during these times. So learn from them, listen to them, question them. If you make a mistake, I know the way you're wired and this quest for at times perfection. It's one thing, at least, that I just love about being around women and men in uniform. The joint approach to everything that you do. And in that quest, sometimes for perfection, you will make a mistake. And I would just ask you to, if you do, because we all do, I do, more than I care to admit, just own it. Move on from it. Don't carry it around like a bad habit or a grudge. Your job's too important to add to the weight and the enormity of the responsibility that you have to carry without a screwed up lingering in your head. You will learn because you will push yourself. You will make a mistake, and that is okay. And lastly, I would ask you that you always put as much into others that you love as you do into your vocation, into your career. Your faith and your family and your friends, they can, and in my experience, they will get you through it all. Even during those times when you question, just what was I thinking? So thank you for persevering during these times and the times to come. Thank you for serving during these times and times to come. It is an honor to stand next to you, to serve alongside you. Can't wait to see where your career takes you. Congratulations on this next chapter of your life and in the life of our state and our people. Godspeed.
Thank you, sir. At this time, the oath of office for the 81st recruit class will be administered by the Honorable Christopher M. Goff. Christopher M. Goff was appointed to the Indiana Supreme Court by Governor Eric Holcomb in June 2017. He took the oath of office as Indiana's 110th Justice on July 24, 2017. Justice Goff was born in Wabash, Indiana in 1972. After graduating from high school there, he attended Ball State University, graduating summa cum laude in 1994, and then earned his law degree at the Indiana University Muir School of Law in 1996. Before joining the Indiana Supreme Court, he served as Wabash County Superior Court Judge for 12 years. During his service on the trial bench, he established the Wabash County Drug Court and the Wabash County Family Drug Treatment Court. Justice Goff and his wife, Raquel, have 4 children, and 3 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Honorable Justice Goff.
Academy, on feet.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. To promote, protect, and defend. The Constitution and laws of the United States of America. And the state of Indiana. Against all enemies, foreign or domestic. And that I will faithfully and justly discharge. The law enforcement duties entrusted to me. By the Indiana State Police. In a manner that provides. The most professional. Effective. And courteous police service possible. At all times. And with every endeavor. According to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Academy, take seats.
Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Major Dana Harshman, the Training Division Commander, to give a few remarks and begin the introductions of the Academy staff. Major.
Good evening, and again, welcome. Today, my job is to thank all of those that have worked so hard to get these recruits to graduation day. First, I would like to thank Superintendent Carter and his staff who have been so supportive and helpful throughout this journey. A thank you to every instructor who taught at the Academy. I appreciate the dozens of instructors from across the state, many of whom are here tonight, who provided guidance and instruction while often being away from their home and their loved ones for long periods of time. These instructors worked countless hours out in the rain and weather to ensure the recruits receive the best possible training to prepare them for the field. A thank you to their commanders who have their own responsibilities to the communities they serve throughout the state, but still manage to allow their personnel to come to the Academy and teach these young new recruits. Most especially to the Training Division staff and counselors. Their dedication and passion for what they do never ceases to amaze me. This year, I would like to extend a special thank you to Sergeant Brent Robinson, or as we call him, B-Rob. Sergeant Robinson joined the Indiana State Police in 2007 as part of the 67th Recruit Academy. Sergeant Robinson was assigned to the Terre Haute post out of the recruit school, and over time became a firearms, EVO, SFST, DRE, and control tactics instructor. Sergeant Robinson served as an academy counselor for the 76th, 77th, 78th, and 79th Recruit Academies. In January of 2020, Sergeant Robinson became a permanent part of the training division when he was promoted to the assistant commander of the academy for the 80th and 81st recruit schools. This will be Sergeant Robinson's last academy as he's leaving the department at the end of this year. To say this will leave a huge hole in our academy is an understatement. The amount of time and dedication that Sergeant Robinson has devoted to these recruits is immeasurable. I can't imagine a Blue Sunday without Sergeant Robinson there to help motivate these incoming recruits. B-Rob, no matter when I called or what I needed, you were always there with the answers and you always got done what needed to be done. Thank you, and thank you for your passion for training, your dedication to these recruits, to the Academy, and to the ISP. We will miss you. Thank you today also goes out to the families of the 81st Recruit Academy. While your recruits were learning criminal law, how to shoot, how to fight, how to drive, your family was at home carrying on the burden of keeping the home front working. They were the ones providing support to your loved ones, taking care of sick kids, dealing with cars that won't start as life did not stop for them while you were away these last 25 weeks. They were the ones encouraging you during your nightly phone calls not to give up, only to hang up the phone and turn on the news to see the world that awaits you. So to the families of the 81st Recruit School, thank you and welcome to the ISP family. Yeah. In regards to today's society, a much-deserved thank you goes to the recruits of the 81st Academy. In a time when policing is under such scrutiny, you chose freely to commit to this process and make the sacrifices necessary to be a part of something so important. It gives me great hope in our future to know we have people like you willing to take on the challenge, willing to go places most people run from, and willing to provide a service that is so badly needed now more than ever. So thank you to the recruits of the 81st Academy for stepping up and being willing to serve. My last thank you goes to the glue that holds this whole recruit school together and who shoulders the bulk of the responsibility, Lieutenant Tom Hannon. Lieutenant Hannon is a 36-year veteran of the Indiana State Police, having graduated from the 43rd Recruit Academy in 1985. He was assigned to the Terre Haute post, where he worked in various positions for most of his career, including a trooper on the road, being a member of the Tactical Intervention Platoon, an original member of the Clandestine Laboratory Investigations Team. He served for a time as a high-performance vehicle trooper, a K-9 trooper, was a field training officer. He also served as a member of the SWAT team, and he is an instructor in firearms, control tactics, TACMED, radar, and emergency vehicle operation. He was promoted to leadership roles at the district, serving as a corporal, and then to sergeant, supervising a squad of troopers. In 2015, he was promoted to his current role as the recruit school commander. His experience and vast knowledge of many areas of police work make him uniquely qualified to lead our academy. It is with great pride and admiration that I introduce our recruit school commander again, Lieutenant Tom Hannon.
I'd like to take this opportunity now to recognize the 81st Recruit Academy staff and counselors. But before I do that, not in our script, I want to thank a couple people real quick. First of all, if you'll notice all the gentlemen over here in uniform on the side, most of those are the district commanders where your loved ones are getting ready to go. Without their support at the academy and being able to send me instructors and role players and all of the people that I need to help facilitate at academy, it wouldn't be possible. So if you wouldn't mind, give me a quick round of applause for all of those gentlemen. Also not on the script is me given an opportunity to be able to thank my bosses. Two things that keep me around. I love my job, and I would say I love my bosses, but I'm just going to say I've got great bosses. Not that I don't love some of them. Anyway, I've got great bosses. Captain Mike Dennison, Major Dana Harshman, Lieutenant Colonel Bilkey, Colonel French, Superintendent Carter, and Governor Holcomb. I work for some great people, and that makes me a very blessed person. So thank you again to them for supporting me. In addition to that, the primary staff, some of these gentlemen are sitting behind me that you just see here but don't understand what their roles are. The commander of the HR division, who helps select these individuals, takes care of their payroll, takes care of their medical and other benefits that they get. The commander of logistics division, who also is the one that provide their uniforms, their boots, their shoes, their guns, and everything I need to be able to get them trained. So Major Sorrells and Major Williams, I appreciate what you all do for the academy as well. So again, thank you. So with that, I'll introduce my staff. First up is Sergeant Brent Robinson, my assistant commander. He is with the training division. Although you heard that Sergeant Robinson is leaving us, that gives me a new assistant commander, and I'll now introduce him, Sergeant Brent Cox, who will be taking over his duties and responsibilities. My staff sergeant, Sergeant Nicole Cheeks, also from the training division. I had two senior counselors for this academy class, and they are Trooper Eric Smith, who's been assigned to the commercial motor vehicle, or commercial, CVET as we call it, Commercial Vehicle Enforcement Division. My other senior counselor is Trooper Carmen Hoddle. She is a trooper at the Fort Wayne District. Next up is my 4 squad counselors. Squad A counselor, Master Trooper Tyler Vaness, also from the Commercial Motor Vehicle Enforcement Division. Next up is Squad B counselor, Senior Trooper, and I get a steak dinner if I do this, and I'm going to do it, Tyler Bennington. But that's not his real name. His name is Bentley's, but I messed up on the first day when I met him and called him by the wrong name. Squad C counselor, let me back up there. Tyler Bentley just from the Lafayette post. My next counselor, Squad C counselor, is Trooper Trent Jones. He's from the Pendleton post. And last is my Squad D counselor, Trooper Sam Redino from the Indianapolis post. These individuals volunteered and participated in a selection process to be considered as counselors for the academy class. A little information about them. These 9 individuals, between them, have the following certificates or credentials. 5 of them have college degrees. 9 of them hold instructor certifications in 7 different disciplines. 1 has served in the U.S. Army and 2 in the United States Air Force. Together, they have served with the Indiana State Police Department for just over 90 years. The recruits will tell you that these counselors demanded nothing less than their absolute best when it came to all facets of academy life and training. I am honored to have served with these troopers and know that the recruits are better and the best that they can be because of their efforts. So thank you. Thank you, staff. It is now time to present the members of the 81st recruited class with their Indiana State Police badges, officer ID, oath of office certificate, and their law enforcement training board certificate. Anyone in the audience who would like to come up and take photographs at this time may do so. Please just do not block the procession of the probationary troopers as they come and go from the stage. And also, if you could hold your applause until we get all 29 of them through, I would appreciate it. Mackenzie J. Alexander, Jasper. Maxwell S. Alexander, Indianapolis. Allison M. Boldy, Indianapolis. Joshua T. Brown, Toll Road. Alfredo Chagoya, Lowell. Michael J. Erglins, in Annapolis. Clayton J. Fox, Pendleton. Alexander V. Fortes, Lowell. Morgan M. Greenmore, Toll Road. Jace M.A. Haddon, Lowell. Aaron G. Hadley, Evansville. Richard A.F. Harris, Toll Road. Spencer M. Hathaway, Lowell. Zachary S. Kettrig, Lowell. Joshua M. Lucky, Lowell. Gavin K. Ludwig, Versailles. Keith D. Martin, Indianapolis. Liesel G. Martin, Toll Road. Ryan T. McKnight, Indianapolis. Damon S. Munn, Indianapolis. Dustin E. Powers, Peru. Andrew J. Raker, Jasper. Matthew W. Redmond, Pendleton. Clayton D. Saltzman, Versailles. Blake M. Sarver, Peru. Samuel G. Sharp, Toll Road. Chase R.O. Snyder, Jasper. James E. Wilkinson, Peru. Andy E.R. Wolverton, Fort Wayne. And he's got to walk all the way around. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me with a round of applause recognizing the 81st Indiana State Police Security Academy class.
Academy, take seats.
Prior to Superintendent Carter giving the next two awards, I would like to recognize the following recruits for breaking two of our physical training records. We have a class record thing at the Academy for PT, and we had two records broke this year. First, I'd like to recognize recruit Morgan Greenmore. Stand up. She broke the sit-up record for the female recruits. The previous record, which was set in 2002, was 62 sit-ups in 1 minute. Recruit Greenmore completed 65 in 1 minute and set a new record. The next record that was broke was also on the female side of the board, gentlemen. Recruit Allison Boldy, please stand up. Recruit Boldy broke the push-up record for females. With that being said, I would like to have the previous push-up female record holder to stand up, and that is one of my staff members, Trooper Carmen Hoddle. So Trooper Hoddle got to be the proctor, if you will, the scorekeeper of the push-ups that Recruit Boldy did to make sure that she did them to the standard. Recruit Boldy did, the old record held by Trooper Hoddle was 76. Trooper Boldy did 80 and set a new record. Superintendent Carter will now present the Firearms Proficiency Award to the top marksman in the class and the Superintendent's Award to the top recruit in the class. The first award is the Firearm Proficiency Award. This award is given to the recruit who shoots the highest average scores during firearms qualification. This average is based on 3 consecutive handgun qualification courses, 3 consecutive backup handgun qualification courses, and 3 consecutive patrol rifle qualification courses, and then the final written exam. This recipient for this award this year scored a 100% average on both of the handguns, a 100% average on the patrol rifle, and scored a 98% on the final written exam. The recipient of the 81st Recruit Academy Firearms Proficiency Award is Probationary Trooper Alexander V. Fortes. The Superintendent's Award is presented to the recruit who during the Academy stood out in all aspects of the training. This recruit was in the top percentile in the following categories: academics, firearms, defensive tactics, emergency vehicle operations, report writing, TAC med, and leadership abilities. In fact, this recruit was voted by her peers twice to be in the top 10%. And based on her overall performance, this individual was then voted on by the Academy staff to become and placed in charge of what we call the platoon leader. The recipient of the 81st Recruit Academy Superintendent's Award is probationary trooper Allison Boldy. Another quick note about probationary trooper Boldy. She is also in the Indiana National Guard and is also going through officer candidate school at the same time that she's in the academy. I would now ask that probationary trooper Aaron G. Hadley to approach the podium for comments from the 81st Recruit Academy class.
Thank you, Lieutenant Hannon, for the introduction. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome Governor Holcomb, Justice Goff, Superintendent Carter, Indiana State Police Board members, members of the primary staff, survivor families, distinguished guests, fellow officers, family, and friends. It's an honor to stand in front of you this evening representing the 81st recruit class of the Indiana State Police. I'll tell you a quick story. A few weeks ago, a few of my classmates and myself were chosen to write a speech, and then we would have to present it in front of the class. Is chosen the right word? Anyhow, so after we gave the speeches, the class would take a vote, and they would tally up the votes, and at the end, it was determined that I would be the one who give the speech. But it wasn't because of my deep manly voice or my chiseled features. It was because I had the shortest speech. So, stick around, we'll get through this. Think back to June 13th, 2021. Do you remember where you were? If you were any of the men and women sitting in these seats, then you do. I remember we reported that hot Sunday afternoon. 43 of us were standing at the position of attention out in the parking lot, waiting for the troopers to arrive. And arrive they did. Many of us had never been yelled at, we had never been screamed at, never been put under that kind of stress. And that stress would continue for the next 25 weeks. Admittedly, there were days in the academy where we didn't want to be here. All of us shared those feelings at some point. Initially, this process was a physical challenge. Push-ups, planks, and burpees became part of everyday life. But as the days and weeks went on, the mental challenge grew too. Often we'd ask ourselves, did we want to be here? Did we need to be here? My dad spent over 3 decades in law enforcement. And I remember growing up and talking to him about my thoughts to follow in his footsteps. There's one thing he would tell me, he was many things, but the one thing that sticks with me the most is he said, we don't get paid to lose. Throughout the long days, the 2-on-1 fight, the OC spray, the taser exposure, the one-on-one fight, and multiple incentive training sessions, there were numerous times we were tested when the real battle was with ourselves. But then I would remind myself, we don't get paid to lose. The job of a trooper can be lonesome. And as the superintendent says, on any given day in the state of Indiana, we could find ourselves alone in the middle of the night on a back county road trying to solve complex problems and nobody's coming to help us. And it's in times like these where we must fall back in our training and come to a solution. And so long as that solution is safe, lawful, and ethical, then we have succeeded. We have won because we don't get paid to lose. I can't think of a better group of people to endure this process with. It's amazing how quickly friendships can be formed with complete strangers. There have been so many times where we've picked on each other, fought with each other, and laughed at each other. This is a short list of some of the shenanigans that were had over the past 6 months. Leaving your vehicle unlocked on day one and getting your luggage stolen. Accidentally putting shoes on before socks. We had one recruit, he spray painted his last name on the back of his t-shirt, so there was overspray all over the place. Everybody else just kind of ironed them on. He decided to spray paint it and looked awful. It was so funny. Applying a permanent high-shine coating to their boots so we don't have to go through the labor of polishing them every night. Choking on spoiled milk in the chow hall. Sleeping on the ground and in sleeping bags so we wouldn't have to make our beds every day. These are just a few of the atrocities that were committed during the academy. I could go on, we'd be here all night, but I'm trying to get us out on time. Some of us may have committed more atrocities than others. But for every lapse in judgment that we had, we were corrected with physical training, and that's why we're all in such good shape now. I want to extend a sincere thanks to all the family and friends here this evening. You've been there for us not only throughout the academy, but through this entire selection process. Taking care of things back home, keeping the bills paid on time, caring for children, and listening to us vent every weekend, all while working full-time jobs yourself. Again, thank you for everything you've done and everything you continue to do. Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. A lot of us have made numerous sacrifices to get to this moment, but I'll give you one example. One of my classmates would wake up he lives down south, he would wake up at 2 a.m. every Monday, and he would drive 2.5 hours up to the academy. And I asked him why he wouldn't just leave on Sunday evening so he could get a full night's rest like most of us did. And when I asked him that, he said it was because he got to spend a few more hours with his children, and it was worth it to him. I'll end with this. Over 1,400 people applied to the 81st ISP selection process. 44 were invited to the academy, and of those 44, only 29 of us remain. Your loved one seated before you is part of 2% of applicants who had what it takes to become an Indiana State Trooper. We've been trained extensively in how to shoot, drive, fight, enforce criminal and traffic laws, and investigate crashes. But we've also been trained in how to listen, how to talk, how to empathize, and de-escalate. Each one of us have been thoroughly indoctrinated in the core values of integrity, loyalty, and community. But now the real challenge begins, because once we walk out of this rotunda, we will have a duty to protect and serve the citizens of Indiana and its visitors. I want to take a moment to recognize the staff members and instructors who have supported us and given 100% of their focus and energy into molding us into Indiana's finest. They have made tremendous sacrifices to get us to this point, spending countless weeks and many late nights away from their families because of their commitment to making us better. Thanks again. Yeah. 81st, it's been an absolute pleasure to live and work with you guys for the past 25 weeks. And so as we travel north, south, east, and west tonight, just remember to stay alert, stay vigilant, continue to train, and remember, we don't get paid to lose.
On our feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction given by Chaplain Coffey and remain standing for the retirement of the colors as well as the dismissal of the 81st Recruit Academy class. Once the ceremony is over, you may use any part of the rotunda to pin badges on our new Indiana State Police probationary troopers. Our official photographer will be making his way around the State House to take photos of this special moment. Please be careful driving as you make your way either to your hotel room or home tonight. Thank you for attending tonight's ceremony, and we hope it was as special for you as it was for us. Chaplain Coffey.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for your service. It is my prayer for you that mercy, peace, and love would be to you in abundance. May you be encouraged by these ancient words of promise. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Please. Retrieve colors. Officer, restand, hold. Ready, place. Ready, place.